Good evening and welcome to SHN's presentation of Rouse Raider Baseball. You're listening to Michael Francis and Scott Mount on the call tonight. It's the Raiders versus the Eagles in game number 2. Rouse looking to bounce back from a very disappointing loss at the hands of the Eagles last night, Scott.
Oh, it was a tough one to watch, but quite a few players on the Rouse side got some good playing time. But that Georgetown crew, they deserved it. They came to play or came to their house, and they defended their house. And see if we can't return the favor tonight.
Well, that's something we definitely hope to do as Rouse Raider fans. We also want to welcome the Georgetown Eagle fans to the Rouse Raider broadcast, and glad you're along with us. So right now the playoff picture for both teams, Rouse and Georgetown, are set as the number 1 seeds of their respective districts. But the rest of the squads from 2 to 4 will be decided tonight because they're all that close.
Kind of up in the air right now.
It's just kind of up in the air, as you mentioned. In 18-5A, you have Elgin and Cedar Creek are playing, and Eastview and Hutto. And that is a tight race between those squads tonight. And Eastview defeating Hutto on Tuesday night have put themselves in the mix. So it could be that Elgin could end up falling completely out at number 5, and Cedar Creek would move into 3 or 4, depending on where Hutto and Eastview finish tonight.
So a lot of important games tonight being played.
A lot of important games tonight, and for District 17-5A, it's still up in the air. Cedar Park right now has control of second place in the district, but that could change depending on their game tonight. So that could be that Cedar Park and Pflugerville end up having to do a play-in game for seeding purposes, because they're both projected to finish right now against their opponents and finish with 8-4 records, and so that would, and they went 1-1 in head-up play, so that will result in a play-in game possibly tomorrow. So then we'll know where the seeding falls out, and we'll see where we stand in the brackets. So looking forward to a great game tonight. It's a beautiful sunny day in Leander, Texas, as we are set to get underway here shortly with the visiting Georgetown Eagles. Starting lineup for the Eagles tonight. Number 7, Jeffrey David will be leading off. David will be at third base. Number 13, Wyatt Childress will be in center field, batting second. Number 5, Cole Posey will be at short, batting third. Number 10, Ty Tilson will be in left field and batting fourth. Number 12, Jackson Siosen will be at first base, batting fifth. Number 17, Noah Thompson will be in right field and batting sixth. Batting seventh will be the designated hitter, Wesley Dixon. He will be hitting for the pitcher. Number 9, Grant Wood. Number 11, Zach Whittington will be at second base and batting eighth. And rounding out the order will be the catcher, number 24, A.J. Vasquez. For your Rouse Raiders, leading off will be number 6, Jake Alepa in left field. Batting second will be number 23, Jared Southard in right field. Batting third will be number 22, Connor Bennett at short. And batting fourth, number 24, Lance Little at first base. Number 15, Dalton Porter will be in center field and batting fifth. Number 1, Dylan Lewis will be at second base and batting sixth. Number 5, Fisher Kingsbury will be the starting pitcher for the Raiders tonight, and he will be batting seventh. Number 4, Tanner Robbins will be the designated hitter, and he will be hitting for the catcher, number 2, Andrew Garcia. Number 3, Matt Garcia will be on third base, and rounding out the order for the Rouse Raiders. The Rouse Raiders coached by head coach Chad Crimpine and assistant coach Josh Harris. The Georgetown Eagles are coached by Adam Foster. Georgetown comes in tonight number 1 in 5A in the state in Texas High School Diamond Pro Baseball Poll. And the Rouse Raiders come in at 19 this week in that very same poll. The Raiders will only have 2 umpires on staff tonight. Last night they had 4, and I spoke with one of the umpires prior to the game and asked him about that, and he said that Thursday nights are not a busy night for the umpires.
They double down.
They doubled down, and so Friday night is full of games. And with playoffs coming up, that'll change as far as their busyness goes. As during the playoffs, you'll see 3 and 4 umpires. So we're going to take a moment for the national anthem, and we will be right back with you. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Well, it's play baseball, and as we like to say, Scott, it's baseball time in Texas.
Baseball time, just like that.
Here
we are
in Leander.
Final regular season game already.
The final regular season game. We started out in coats and blankets and all those kinds of things at the start of the season, and here we are at the end, and we have the nicest weather in this part of the season. And it's the final regular season game for both these squads. And playoffs will begin next week for both squads, both number 1 seeds of their respective districts, as we mentioned earlier. Defensively for the Raiders tonight, Fisher Kingsbury on the mound. At home plate will be Andrew Garcia, Lance Little at first base, Dylan Lewis at second base, Connor Bennett at short, Matt Garcia at third base, Jake Alepa in left, Dalton Porter in center, and Jared Southard in right. So this game promises to be a little better than last night, hopefully a lot better.
I think so. Yeah, it's always good to be back home in your own ballpark. But once again, a nice shout out to the Georgetown Eagles and their fans. Really good fans last night, made us feel welcome. Just an outstanding program all the way around. Can't say enough. We always have a good time at Eagles Stadium. Thank you again for making us feel welcome.
Yeah, they have.
Hope we return the favor tonight.
Great hospitality there at Georgetown. I've always had a good experience, whether it's at Birkelbach or at the baseball field. So got to visit with Dennis Allman last night and enjoyed that conversation with him. And he's got a whole lot of knowledge of Georgetown Eagle baseball.
Oh, here we go.
We're going to get underway here as Jeffrey David comes to the plate.
Jeffrey
the
David,
Eagles,
son of James David. He's a lieutenant with the Williams County Sheriff's Office.
The Eagles in their black jersey tops, blue numbers and lettering bordered in white, white pants with blue pinstriping, black socks with white and blue stripes. Rouse Raiders in their pinstripe uniforms, black ball caps with the Rouse RR emblazoned across the crown of the cap as Jeffrey David takes for ball one. Field in full sunlight. Check swing and a miss for strike one. That'll even the count up 1-1. Kingsbury pitching from the first base side of the rubber. From the stretch, a curveball that gets David. Actually, he's saying no. He didn't. Evidently, he didn't move enough for the umpire.
He needs to put
satisfaction.
A little bit more drama into it.
And he makes him stay there. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jeffrey David. Kingsbury delivers down and away for ball 2. Actually, ball 3. 3-1 the count to David. Kingsbury has the sign. And the pitch. It's high for ball 4, and David is aboard with the walk.
That'll bring up number 13 for the Eagles.
And as we saw last night, the Eagles very aggressive on the base paths. Wyatt Childress stands in. He digs in from the right side. 1 on with no outs here in the top of the first. No score as we're just getting underway. Very little breeze tonight, Scott.
Almost none at all, which is unusual. We've had nothing but strong winds all season.
Kingsbury throws over, and David dives back safely. And unlike the Georgetown field, you get your uniform dirty when you slide back in. Childress takes inside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Childress. Childress playing center field for the Eagles. Delivery from Kingsbury, fastball in for strike 1. That will even the count up at 1.
You're going to be in for a treat tonight, Michael. I watched Major League the other night. I was on TV, so I'm up to speed on all my Bob Eucharisms.
Oh, boy.
Cowabunga.
Kingsbury spins off and looks David back to first base. 1-1 the count to Wyatt Childress. Kingsbury comes set. Curveball in for a strike. Throw to second, not in time, and David has a stolen base. One ball, 2 strikes to Wyatt Childress. 1 on with a runner at second, no outs here in the top of the first. Kingsbury steps off and will reset. Toes back in on the rubber. Checks David at second. Childress calls time. One, 2 count to Childress. And Kingsbury steps off once again. And looks David back to second base. Childress calls time again, and it's kind of becoming a a little different setting here with this at bat between Kingsbury and Childress. Pitch misses for ball 2. That evens the count, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Wyatt Childress. Two swung on, fouled down the third base side. Count remains 2-2.
Michael, we talked earlier. I see the Mr. and Mrs. Rouse is here tonight in their golf cart.
I did. I spoke with them just a few minutes, and good to have them here. They live close enough they can hop on their go-kart, or not go-kart, but golf cart. I just see Charlie and his wife riding a go-kart.
That would be good. Oh, here we go. Well,
throw from Andrew Garcia sails over the head of his brother, Matt Garcia. And that will score, David, and the Georgetown Eagles have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. The pitch missed for ball 3, so the count goes full to Childress. Lined up the middle. That'll go into center field, and Childress rounds first. And he'll stop and walk back. Hit right up the middle.
Cowabunga.
1 on with no outs. 1 run has scored. That'll bring up the shortstop, number 5, Cole Posey. Posey went through the game last night without garnering a single hit. He shows bunt. He'll take for a ball and throw down to second, not in time, as Childress has a stolen base. Georgetown very aggressive on the base paths, and Coach Krempine is going to call time and come out and talk to his hurler and his infield and get them all on the same page. So David scores on the E2. And picked up the stolen base. So 2 stolen bases for Jeffrey David and 1 for Wyatt Childress. One ball, no strikes to Cole Posey. Kingsbury from the stretch. The delivery hits in for a strike. That'll even the count up. 1-1. A nice little breaking ball from Kingsbury. Umpire really didn't give him a whole lot of time out there on the mound. He's going to control the pace of the game. Kingsbury spins off and to throw the pick off, but
sure looked like Matt had him on that one.
A throw from Bennett to Garcia as Childress has his second stolen base.
And it looked like Matt had the tag all the way, but umpire saw it differently.
Well, I think it was the right call. 1-1 the count to Posey. He takes for strike 2. Another breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. 1-2 the count to Posey. The 1-2 pitch from Kingsbury. That's fouled off. As Posey stays alive. Count remains 1-2.
Looks like Fisher just hadn't settled in yet. What do you think?
I think you're right. I know he was, his arm was aggravating him like a week or so ago. Foul tip on strike 3, and that'll do it for Cole Posey. 1 away, and that'll bring up number 10, Ty Tilson.
Well, that was an important out. So that first one, get it out of the way.
Tilson, the left fielder for the Eagles. He digs in from the right side. Jackson Siosen on deck. Kingsbury delivers. That misses the outside part of the plate for ball 1. The Eagles on top, 1-0 here in the top of the first. Slider in for a strike, and that'll even the count 1-1. A little inside breaking ball is really working for Kingsbury.
Looked really nice
right now. The 1-1 delivery. That gets the outside corner for strike 2. A fastball off the hand of Fisher Kingsbury. Wyatt Childress standing at third base. 1-2, the count to Ty Tilson. The 1-2 pitch. That's fouled off. Tilson remains alive at 1-2. Just a beautiful day.
Sure is. Perfect evening for baseball.
Perfect evening for baseball. It really is. Baseball field situated nicely here on the campus of Rouse High School. Little bloop single down the third base line, and a scoop and lob to Garcia at the plate. Sails over the head, and Garcia is injured. He may have injured his knee. He's down. And that allowed Childress to score. Tilson with the single. So this will be interesting. If Garcia is going to be done, then that's probably going to be it for Kingsbury on the mound. He's going to
probably
go put on the gear, and unless Coach Crimpine has another catcher available. Trainers out looking at and checking on Andrew Garcia. Well, Georgetown taking advantage of Rouse miscues. And have put 2 on the board here in the first. And I didn't see where Tilson.
I didn't see it, but we have
I think he got to second base.
A lot of baseball left, folks, so stay with us.
I think Garcia trying to decide if he's going to walk it off or he's going to be able to go. Well, he's retying his shoe, so that may be a good sign. He seems to be going without a limp. No, he tried to run right then, and we'll see. Georgetown Eagles have 2 hits on the game so far. I guess what you really have to ask yourself is, would you have let the ball roll as it was kind of careening toward the foul line and let it roll over and go foul?
Let it roll over, go foul, and but you've got a runner on third, and that adrenaline's going. You just want to get him out, and
right?
That's certainly fielded the ball very well.
Garcia is going to stay in, so he's going to take a couple of pitches to kind of get loose and test that
leg out
a little bit.
Hopefully he's okay. Get back into it.
Number 12, Jackson Seosin comes to the plate.
Number 12, Jackson Seosin. Up to bat for the Eagles.
Tilson at second. Eagles with 1 out. Kingsbury comes set. He checks Tilson back a second, steps off, and Tilson will go back to the bag. Seosin waiting for the first pitch. Kingsbury asks Garcia to recycle back through the signs. The pitch inside for ball 1. Kingsbury spins off, and he looks Tilson back to the bag. He dives back in safely. No throw. Shadows beginning to creep across the field as the sun starts heading down in the west. The 1-0 pitch misses down and away for ball 2.
I only had to miss by little, though.
2 balls, no strikes to Seosin. Two-0 delivery. This is hit out to left. This falls in for a base hit. Alepa has it. And Seosin will pick up the RBI as Tilson will score from second base. Eagles lead this one now 3-0 here in the top of the first.
The only other catcher we have at the varsity levels on the mound.
Seosin kind of stumbles getting back to first, but Kingsbury didn't even attempt to throw over. He just kind of stepped off and looked him over. The 1-1 delivery, a swing and a miss from Noah Thompson for strike 2. One and 2, the count to Noah Thompson. Kingsbury has had Georgetown in some good counts.
He has.
The Eagles good at the plate. Curveball, that's cut on and hit into fair territory. It just dribbles out in front of the plate. Garcia gets it and will throw Thompson out at first in the fielder's choice. That'll move Siosen over to second base.
Good throw by Andrew to first base. Good way to pick that up. We've had a few of those little bloopers just in the no man's land.
Looks like the single by Tilson was just a roller down the third baseline and possibly could have gone foul. 2-3 on the putout of Noah Thompson, and that will bring up the designated hitter, Wesley Dixon, who hits one to short left center, and that will score Jackson Siosen. And the Eagles have a 4-0 lead here in the top of the first. And the Raiders in trouble quickly.
Number 11, Zach Whittington.
Here in the first. Eagles with 4 hits on the game. Raiders with 2 errors. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Zach Whittington.
Very unusual Raiders to have 2 errors in the very first frame.
Well, it is an unusual start for the Raiders as they went through district quickly. A nice little pickoff move from Kingsbury. He almost got Dixon at first. It's kind of a bang-bang call. It really could have gone either way. Whittington still waiting for his first pitch. He shows bunt, and he bunts it foul down the third baseline. And a very
uncharacteristic
Kingsbury-like first inning, as he has been effective all season long as a Raider pitcher. Throw over to first again. That's not in time as Dixon dives back in. Nothing in one, the count to Whittington. This is hit out towards shallow right center. Southern over makes the catch, and that'll end it for the Eagles in the first. But the Eagles get 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 left on, 2 errors by the Rouse Raiders. The Eagles lead this one after 1/2, 4-0 here in Leander. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. And you know, Scott, while I'm thinking about it, I could really use some barbecue right now.
I could too, buddy, because that was a 34-minute half inning. I'm hungry. And when I get hangry, I think of Bohemian's Barbecue. You know, folks, Bohemian's has been our sponsor all season long. And if you want to sample some of the fine barbecue that they provide to our concession stand, you just take a short drive out to the city of Jonestown and find their food trailer and stop in and grab something. They are one of our sponsors of the club, Bohemian's Barbecue.
Really thank the fine folks at Bohemian's Barbecue for their sponsorship of Rouse Raider Baseball for the 2019 season. Due up for the Raiders in the first, Jake Alepa, Jared Southard, and Connor Bennett. That they will be facing number 9, Grant Wood. Grant Wood, just a week or so ago, had a perfect game the same night that Jared Southard took a perfect game into the 7th.
Oh, wasn't that exciting when we had that?
And Grant Wood pitched a perfect game for Georgetown. So a lot of our district records followed the same,
right,
or paralleled each other, as we both hugely outscored our district opposition.
Well, and quite a few of us have said throughout the years, no doubt, baseball in Central Texas, we have a lot of quality programs.
Defensively for the Eagles, Wood on the mound, Vasquez behind the plate, Siosen at first, Whittington at second, Posey at short as Alepa takes for strike one. David at third, Tilson in left, Childress in center. The 0-1 pitch outside, a fastball. That will even the count up at 1. And Thompson in right field. The 1-1 pitch, that's down and away for ball 2. Two balls, one strike to Jake Alepa. Pitch fouled off for strike 2. That evens the count up. 2-2. The Rains have really done well in making the turf here at Raider Field look nice. Comebacker to Wood. He lobs over to Seosin at first, and that will do it for Alepa. 1-3 on the putout. As number 23, Jared Southard, will come to the plate. Southard hits this one out deep toward left, and it falls just short of the fence. And Southard will be stand-up double at second base.
Right to the warning track, and
I thought that might have a chance to go over as it was headed right there for that Raiders baseball sign hanging on the fence.
You know who made that sign, Michael?
Our friends
at Waterboy Graphics made those signs for us.
Wood spins off. He looks Southard back to second. Raiders pick up this. That was their first hit in either game. Bennett hits this one down to third base. David has it. And throws Bennett out at first. Southard heads to third. So fielder's choice for Connor Bennett. That'll go 5-3 on the putout. Jared Southard advances to third on the throw to first. Raiders with a run just 90 feet away at number 24, Lance Little, coming to the plate. Wood from the stretch. The pitch, fastball, gets the outside corner, belt high.
Wow.
For strike one.
That was a different strike than we've seen.
The 0-1 pitch, that's high for ball one. That'll even the count up. 1-1.
Looks like Lance has become a platinum blonde.
It does. Getting ready for the playoffs, and some players opting to dye their hair.
Do the traditional whatever it takes to keep the rally going.
Little takes for ball two. A pitch outside from Grant Wood. Wood picks up the sign from Vasquez. The pitch, this is hit back up the middle. That's going to go into center field, and Jared Southard will score, and the Raiders are on the board. Lance Little with the RBI single to center. Number 15, Dalton Porter, the center fielder, comes to the plate. He digs in on the left side, and this will be a righty-lefty matchup.
Aunt Kendall, we need you to send some good magic down here.
Porter takes for ball one, a pitch just up out of the zone, a fastball out of the hand of Grant Wood. Little extends his lead at first. A pitch in for a called strike. That will even the count up at 1. Eagles lead this one here in the bottom of the first, 4-1 over the Rouse Raiders. The 1-1, a swing and a miss, or a foul for strike 2.
Here we go, Porter. You got it, man.
1-2 the count to Porter. Wood pitching off the middle of the pitching rubber. This is hit foul down the first base side. Little will trot back to first as he was on his way to second base. Count remains 1-2. Wood picks up the sign. The delivery outside, the throw down, not in time as Little is safe. A little high throw from Vasquez to Siosen, or not Siosen, Cole Posey. And Little has a stolen base. Deuces wild to Dalton Porter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch, breaking pitch outside. And Porter works the count full.
Hey, good plate discipline by Dalton on this one.
Wood leans in. He comes set. Looks a little second, gives him another look, spins off, and Little returns to the bag and steps on it. And steps off. Whittington and Posey both playing their positions. Pitch outside for ball 4, and Porter draws the walk. 2 on with 2 out, and that will bring up the second baseman, Dylan Lewis.
Big D. Here's a chance for him to get it going.
Lewis has had some success with runners on the bases. Georgetown plays a shift. Posey playing in behind Little. Fastball just inside. That was a nice looking pitch from Wood. He doesn't get the call. The 1-0, Wood spins off and looks Little back to second. One ball, no strike pitch coming. This is cut on and hit down the third base side, and that will do it. David takes the ball, steps on the bag on the force, and that'll do it for the Raiders. Raiders get 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 2 aboard. After 1 complete, it's the Georgetown Eagles 4, Rouse Raiders across the field. And as Scott likes to say, the lights have come on.
The lights have come on.
Fastball misses outside for ball 1. Well, hopefully Kingsbury can get into a rhythm and have a much better inning than he did in the first. The 1-0 delivery, that's high for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to the catcher, A.J. Vasquez. Kingsbury really taking his time on the mound tonight.
Yeah, he's not.
He usually works quickly. Swing and a miss on a slider from Fisher Kingsbury. Two and one, the count to Vasquez. Pitch in for strike 2 as Vasquez takes. That will even the count up 2-2. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight, Georgetown fans, Raider fans alike. The 2-2 pitch from Kingsbury. This is cut on and hit out toward right. Jared Southard over, makes the catch, and that will do it for Vasquez.
Back to the top of the order.
Back to the top of the order, and that will bring up number 7, Jeffrey David. David drew the walk back in the first and picked up 2 stolen bases and eventually scored on an errant throw from Andrew Garcia to third base. It went over the head of Matt Garcia into left field. He takes for ball 1. Breaking pitch. It just stayed high. The 1-0 delivery. Another breaking ball. This one gets the outside part of the plate. That'll even the count up at 1. 1-1 the count to Jeffrey David. This is cut on and hit up the middle to Connor Bennett at short to throw over to first. Just in time. That was really close. David almost legged it out. A great throw from Connor Bennett.
Bringing up number 13 for the Eagles, Wyatt Childress.
Will get the out. 6-3 on the putout, and that will bring up Wyatt Childress. Childress 1 for 1. He singled in the first. And like David, he had 2 stolen bases and eventually scored. Pitch hits the inside part of Garcia's leg and rolls away. Cole Posey with his perfect on-deck percentage, on-deck fielding percentage. That's, for you Georgetown listeners, that's something that me and Scott kid around about, these guys on deck that chase the baseball. As the pitch misses inside for ball 1.
They rarely get any credit for the balls that they constantly shag.
Right, so we just kid around and call it on-deck fielding percentage. Kingsbury comes set, the 2-0 delivery. A breaking pitch, misses low for ball 3. Three balls, no strikes to the center fielder. 3-0 pitch misses high for ball 4, and Childress draws the walk.
That'll bring up number 5 for the Eagles, Cole Posey.
Cole Posey 0 for 1, a strikeout victim back in the first. I say back in the first, last inning. The Eagles batted 8 in the first frame. Kingsbury has the sign. He looks Childress back to first. Kingsbury leans in and looks over. He comes set. Throw over to first will not be in time as Childress dives back safely. 1 on with 2 out here in the top of the second. Georgetown leading this one 4-1 over the Raiders. A throw over to first. Not a whole lot of effort from Kingsbury to get the out. He just, I think, just trying to keep Childress honest and close to the bag. The pitch, that's inside and gets away from Garcia. It'll be a wild pitch from Fisher Kingsbury. That will advance Childress to second as he picks up the stolen base. It's his third stolen base of the game. The 1-0 delivery. That is a curveball that is cut on. It's playable. It's in foul territory on the first base side, and Garcia overruns it. And it falls harmlessly foul, and Cole Posey will stay alive, and that will even the count for Posey. Georgetown and Rouse were formerly division or district rivals. With the alignment change, Rouse went to 17-5A and Georgetown went to 18-5A. Kingsbury spins off and looks Childress back to second. But it's good to see that they kept each other on the schedule, as I've definitely enjoyed the rivalry that is built between these two programs.
I think that was a good decision from Coach to say, hey, or however it came down, to get these two clubs to keep playing together.
One ball, one strike to Cole Posey. Wyatt Childress at second base extends his lead. As he takes off, it's a hit and run called. That ball's going to get Connor Bennett to throw home. Goes wild, and Childress will score. And Posey will advance to second on the throw home, and Posey picks up his first hit. Childress picked up a stolen base as he times his jump well, and Eagles have a 5-1 lead. That'll bring up number 10, Ty Tilson. Tilson with his single back in the first. One on with 2 outs for Tilson. Pitch from Kingsbury in for a strike as Tilson takes.
Sun's gone completely down now, Mike, so we are under the lights.
Field in full shadow.
No wind.
0-1 the count to Tilson. Posey dances back and forth, and Kingsbury spins off, and Posey dives back safely. The thing is that Georgetown is so aggressive on the base paths that they keep the pitcher off balance.
They sure do.
They take advantage of every miscue, and they pick their jumps well, as shown by Wyatt Childress. I mean, he timed that perfectly as he headed to third. 1-1 the count to Tilson. So he takes for ball 2. Two balls, one strike to Tilson. The pitch in for a called strike as Tilson takes. On the outside corner for strike 2. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
See if he can
thread
this needle.
Raiders need this out right here. Kingsbury working to get the punch out of Tilson. Curveball. This is hit over to second. Dylan Lewis has it. Throw to first in time. And that will do it for the Eagles. But they put 1 run across the plate on 1 hit. 1 left on. And after 1.5, it's 5-1. Georgetown Eagles. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
So, Michael, you're commenting about how well the field looks. Pretty good landscaping. And you know who's another good sponsor of us is Austin Wood Recycling.
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones who make that fine
Fine
organic
mulch.
mulch. Located there off of 1431.
Yeah.
Austin Wood Recycling, choosing Texas native products for your landscaping. And together we'll swing for the fences.
Yeah, Norman is after me to go pick up about 15 bags of that
Oh, there you
mulch
go.
and do some, take care of the flower beds. We usually get that black mulch,
Yep.
and it really makes her flower beds pop. Due up for the Raiders in the second, Kingsbury, Robbins, and Garcia.
Now up for the Raiders, number 5, Fisher Kingsbury.
Grant Wood back on the hill to pitch the second for the Eagles. Bottom of the second, Georgetown leads this one 5-1 over the Raiders. Wood delivers low for ball one. The windup and the delivery, it's in the dirt for ball two. Well, 2-0, that's in for a call strike. That was at the top of the zone. Kingsbury takes for strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kingsbury. A swing and a miss for strike 2. This little breaking pitch, off-speed breaking pitch from Grant Wood. The 2-2 delivery, that's outside for ball 3, and the count goes full. Got to meet Grant's grandmother last night at the ball game. Payoff pitch, that's outside for ball 4, and Raiders gets the lead off aboard here in the bottom of the second. Fisher Kingsbury. That'll bring a courtesy runner, Ethan Moore.
Number 18 for the Raiders, Ethan Moore will be the courtesy
Will
runner.
courtesy run for the pitcher. And will bring up the designated hitter, Tanner Robbins.
All right, Mr. Robbins.
Robbins is due. Wood from the stretch. Robbins shows bunt. The throw down to second is going to be in time. Vasquez with the putout. That'll go 2-6. As Moore was caught stealing. Pitch missed for ball 1. So 2 balls, no strikes to Tanner Robbins. That's kind of the opportunities you hate to waste right there. As
Just
Moore didn't get the good jump, and he's got the speed. The 2-0 delivery, it's in for a called strike. Robin takes, and count goes to 2-1. Matt Garcia on deck. Oh, and he gets hit.
That was a hit.
That was a curveball that
Didn't curve.
did not break.
That brings up number 3 for the Raiders, Matthew Garcia.
And the Raiders have another base runner aboard.
That really emphasizes Ethan Moore getting out, really challenges the team now because he would have been in scoring position.
Matt Garcia digs in from the right side as he faces Grant Wood for the first time and takes for strike 1. The 0-1 delivery. He likes that upper part of
He
that
does,
outside
yeah.
strike zone. He gives that pitch. And Garcia finds himself behind quickly, 0-2. From the stretch, a swing and a miss for the punch out, and that will do it for Garcia. As Wood picks up his first strikeout. Back to the top of the order for the Raiders. Jake Alepa comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He hit a little comebacker to Wood back in the first. As he takes for ball 1. If you're just tuning in, throw over to first. Robbins dives back safely. If you're just tuning in, the Raiders are trailing Georgetown 5-1 here in the bottom of the second. Another throw. And Robbins in safely. Woods comes set. The delivery. This is hit back over to Posey. It's short, and he'll jog over, step on the bag, and that will do it for the Raiders. Raiders hit no runs on no hits. Nobody left on. After 2 complete here in Leander, it's 5-1 Georgetown. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Well, Scott, you know I need some windows replaced.
Yeah, this would be a good time of year to do that with the weather we've been having. You want to get a high-quality window. You know who I would recommend, Michael, is Austin Pro Siding and Windows. Another proud supporter of the Rouse Raiders baseball program. Austin Pro Siding and Windows. They've been helping Austin homeowners with siding and window projects for over 6 years. Give them a call, folks. Our friends at Austin Pro Siding and Windows.
Fisher Kingsbury on to pitch the third. As he will face Seosin, Thompson, and Dixon here in the third.
Leading off the top of the third for the Eagles, number 12, Jackson Seosin.
Jackson Seosin was the starting quarterback for the Eagles. I had the opportunity to work with Rob Hipp on 4 games for the Georgetown Eagles as the color analyst. Oh, Seosin gets hit on the shoulder. On one pitch, and that's not how you want to start the inning.
That's not.
Not how you want to start
Just
the
don't
inning.
see the Raiders being in sync yet. I know.
Noah Thompson comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He hit into a fielder's choice.
Coach is going to make a change.
Thrown out by Andrew Garcia.
Coach has seen enough.
Mason Bowers comes on in relief. Lefty. Will come on in relief as Kingsbury put a runner on with a hit batsman here in the third. So Coach Krempine opting to make the change.
Well, friends, while we're having this pitching change, let us go through a few other sponsors that have helped the program all year long. I want to say a big thank you to Minuteman Press in Georgetown. They produced our outstanding programs this year. We mentioned Waterboy Graphics. They made our field banners 2 years in a row. Are holding up well. I want to thank City Automotive. Your vehicle needs some repair work. Call Mike over at City Automotive, 2005 North Bell Avenue. You know, they're right across the street from that Tractor Supply. Yeah. I've taken vehicles there before. City Automotive. Go talk to Mike.
Number 7, Mason Bowers.
Mason Bowers
Fisher Kingsbury will move to pitcher.
in relief, and Fisher Kingsbury will move behind the plate. Jack Markey will pinch hit for Noah Thompson.
Markey.
One on with no outs. Bowers throws over to first. Siosen back safely. Jack Markey digs in from the right side. Another throw over from Bowers. Bowers comes set. The delivery, fastball, in for a called strike. Nothing in one, the count to Markey. From the stretch, the curveball sails high as he lost the handle on it. For ball one, that'll even the count up at 1. Bowers steps off and Siosen back to first. Bowers throws over. Not in time. It's not really throwing to get him out. It's
just keeping him close.
Kind of keep him close. But that's what Georgetown does. You know, we talked about that a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
They keep pitchers off balance. Another throw over. They called balk, and I'm not sure.
He just didn't take his time to reset, and that's a little bit of inexperience on the mound. So let's focus on the batter, shall we?
Well, I don't think it had anything to do with being set because he threw over to first. I think what it was is his front leg made a move toward home.
Right.
And when they do that, that's a balk.
Shortstop's making sure that Mr. Bowers has the signals correct in case there is a leadoff steal.
Runner at second with no outs here in the top of the third. Georgetown leading this one 5-1 over your Rouse Raiders. The 1-1 pitch. over the top breaking ball for strike 2 as Markey takes. One and 2, the count to Jack Markey. Bowers from the stretch. Seosin extends his lead. This is a hit up the middle to Bennett to throw over to first for the out. But that will do what it was intended to do and move Seosin to third base. Markey with the fielder's choice. And that will go 6-3 on the putout. One away for the designated hitter, Wesley Dixon, as he will dig in. Dixon 1 for 1. He singled back in the first frame. Pitch from Bowers misses for ball 1. Breaking pitch that dropped right at the plate. Bowers has the sign. He pitches lined over to line out to second. Dylan Lewis.
Number 11,
Two away.
Whitington.
Zach Whittington comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to Jared Southard in right field. Pitch off the hand of Mason Bowers, high out of the zone for ball 1. Jackson Seosin standing at third base. The 1-0, that's fouled off for strike 1. That evens the count up 1-1. 1 on with 2 outs here in the top of the third, with Zach Whittington standing at the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball outside for ball 2. From the stretch, the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball gets the outside corner for strike 2. That'll even the count up 2-2.
That was a nice pitch. Good breaking ball.
Deuces wild to Zach Whittington. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2. It misses low for ball 3, and Whittington works the count full. Seeing some Rouse Raider alumni in the stands.
Well, looks like our stands are full tonight.
The payoff pitch, that's cut on, and it's hit foul down the third base side. Bounced in front of third base and went out of the baseline before it crossed the third base. And that's why Seosin will make the return trip back to third base. And Zach Whittington will come back to the plate. The payoff delivery. This is cut on and hit out toward right field. Stuttered over. He calls it, makes the catch. As he dropped it.
Got him.
But that will score Seosin on the play, but the Raiders get out of it. That they give up 1 run, and the Eagles extend their lead 6-1 over the Rouse Raiders. 1 run on no hits, nobody left on. And after 2.5, it's 6-1 Georgetown. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. You know what, Scott? Now that I'm thinking about it, I would really like some good spinach lasagna.
Oh, man, would I ever too. You must be thinking of Reality's Fine Italian Food. You're home away from Rome. Located over there in Henderson Mill Road, 183. Bob Reale started the place. You know, I've got some insight on that. I don't know if I told the folks or not. Our friends at Reale's, he would sneak out during his coffee breaks and lunch breaks in Brooklyn and sell from a little hot dog stand, a little cart. And that's how he got his start. Proud Navy veteran. I want to thank Bob Reale for his service. Go by there and see him. He's usually walking around. Say hi to Gino. If you're really hungry, you need to get a Sal's calzone.
I'd like some calzone right now. Number 23, Jared Southard, will lead things off for the Raiders in the bottom of the third. Raiders trailing 6-1 to Georgetown. Pitch misses low for ball one. Grant Wood back out to pitch the third. The 1-0 delivery, that's low for ball two.
Now, folks, it's 8:20, but we truly are in the bottom of the third. It's been an interesting ball game tonight.
The 2-0, that's in for a called strike. The lower part of the zone as Southard takes. Southard 1 for 1. He had a stand-up double back in the first. Who eventually scored on a single by Lance Little. From the windup, the 2-1 fastball right down the middle for strike two. Southard wishes he had that one back.
He sure does. Jared gets a piece of that one. It's out of here.
The 2-2 pitch. That's outside for ball three. And the count works full.
Some of the fans not happy with that call.
The payoff pitch, Woods steps off and re-engages. The payoff pitch in for strike three, and that was the correct call. It was a great pitch down the middle.
It was a good call, good pitch. Can't take that away, folks. That was the right call.
Number 22, Connor Bennett, will come to the plate. He takes for ball one. Bennett 0 for 1. He hit into a fielder's choice. Thrown out by Jeffrey David. Bennett takes for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes to Connor Bennett. The pitch. This is fouled back and out of play for strike one. 2-1 the count to Connor Bennett. Woods steps off. He's going to get Vasquez to go back through the signs. The 2-1 delivery. That's in the dirt for ball three. The 3-1 delivery. This is in on the hands and hit foul down the third base side.
A lot of balls hit down there this evening.
As the count goes full. Man, I smell some coffee.
Oh, I had to.
It smells really good.
I had to get some.
Bennett fouls this one down the first base side. He'll stay alive. Still a full count. From the windup, the 3-2 delivery. This is fouled back and out of play. The umpire was backing up, and him and Vasquez were bumping into each other all along the way. That's interesting because you usually don't see that.
Nope.
And the umpire was not yielding as Vasquez was attempting to try to track the ball to see if he could make the play. The payoff pitch. This is hit down the third base side and off the glove of David. The throw over will not be in time. That was a sharply hit ball by Connor Bennett. And a more than greater effort on the play by David, so I don't think they'll rule that an error. They're going to credit Bennett with a hit.
Yeah, Jeff David there made a really valiant effort at grabbing that.
Little comes to the plate. One on with one out as he takes for strike one. Fastball on the outside corner. From the stretch, curveball in for called strike, and Little quickly behind, 0-2. Dalton Porter on deck for the Raiders. The delivery, it's a nice pitch from Woods. He just did not get the call on that. Goes ball one. 1-2. The count to Lance Little. You know, starting to see some inconsistencies really kind of develop with the umpire.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part for a pitcher is what was a strike, and especially for the batter, I think that's what happened with Southern.
So Woods asked Vasquez to run back through the signs. Bennett extends his lead at first. Little hits this one out to right, and it's going to be caught by Thompson. And they'll get Bennett, and that'll be a double play by the Raiders. It looked like it was going to drop in for a single, and Thompson makes the catch as it stayed aloft. And Bennett had made his way to second base. And there was no way he could get back. And
he had to make his way to second with that type of a blooper, and it carried just a little too far. Well, we have a pitching change, folks. I think
number 23, Jared Southard, comes to the mound. You'll probably see limited action for the Raiders.
This pitching change brought to you by the Williamson County Deputies Association, another proud sponsor of the Rouse baseball program. We'll extend our thanks to them for another great season of Rouse baseball. You know, folks, we mention a lot of our sponsors here on SHN, and want to make sure that we mention them as well. This is the second year SHN has partnered with us, and it's been a really good partnership, really professional organization. Last night we were in Georgetown, which a lot of people would think is their home territory, but I can assure you I was welcomed up into the press box by the SHN folks and learned a lot. And they try to be as unbiased as they can. And it's all good baseball, all good broadcasting. So for our Georgetown fans that are listening, you can certainly be proud of an organization that is home base in Georgetown.
So I'd like to thank Rob Hipp and Carl Schoening. They are the founders of SHN Sports, Schoening Hip Network. They have some great partners that give them
That'll bring out number 24,
great advice.
A.J. Vasquez.
A.J. Vasquez leading off the fourth for the Eagles. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to right, and he gets beamed by Southern.
One of those breaking balls didn't break.
That'll bring out number 7.
The thing about that is that one stings a little more.
Yeah.
Number 1, hold on, folks. I don't have a name. The lineup card that Coach Foster gave us. So I'll get to their roster is
That was just
Jeffrey David.
just a bit outside on that pitch.
Landon Broad. Courtesy running for the catcher. David pops this one up. Lance Little tracks it. He's lost it in the lights. And it's out of the glove. And David will get another chance. One and one, the count to Jeffrey David. One on. No outs here in the top of the fourth. Georgetown leading this one 6-1 over your Rouse Raiders. The 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, a throw down by Kingsbury, not in time as Broad will get the stolen base.
That was awfully close, though. Fisher has a good throw down.
That's just some of that good base running that Coach Foster has taught these guys. You can tell that they are
give full credit to the Georgetown club. They're
very well coached on the base running. And
good hit and run
Broad
going on.
Steals third. He's a center fielder for him. He played center field last night, and there's a reason why. It's because he has
fast.
Speed, and speed kills. And he's standing at third base for Jeffrey David. Count 2-2 as he takes for ball 3. That works the count full. Full count. Southern picks up the sign from Kingsbury. Payoff pitch. This is a liner back up to Southern. He throws over to get David at first. He looks Broad back to third and keeps him there.
Yeah, David Little played that well. Froze the runner on third. He thought about it, but David's very accurate.
And the one thing you don't do on Jared Southern is going to run on him because he's got a gun.
We saw that a couple of games ago when he was in right field. He gunned one down all the way to third base from right.
Number 13, Wyatt Childress digs in. He takes for strike one. One on with one out. Broad at third base. Childress takes for ball 1. That'll even the count up at 1. Southern from the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. The fastball's cut on and missed for strike 2.
See a little bit of tenacity now in Southern. He wants this out.
The 1-2 pitch. A slider down and away. And that will even the count up at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Southern comes set. The pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. And that will retire Childress for out number 2.
Number 5, the Eagles.
That will bring up Cole Posey, as they commonly call him in Georgetown, Copo.
Copo.
Posey, the shortstop, he takes for strike 1. A little off-speed curveball from Jared Southern right at the top of the zone. And some Georgetown fans expressed their dissatisfaction. Swing and a miss for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch, curveball. This is hit foul down the first base side. And Posey stays alive. Down in the count, 0-2. Landed broad, standing 90 feet away. The 0-2 pitch, that sails way outside, and Kingsbury stretched out for that one.
And he was a good wall on that one, Aaron.
1-2 the count to Cole Posey. Fastball gets the outside corner.
Throws
Posey
him.
caught looking. And that will do it for the Eagles in the 4th. No runs on no hit, 1 left aboard. After 3.5, it's Georgetown 6, Rouse 1. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Pitching change for the Eagles. Number 23, Wesley Krieger,
23, Wesley Krieger.
comes in on relief of Grant Woods.
You know, Michael, maybe now our bats can come alive. And I was told with the bad weather we had on Wednesday, the team once again went to Zach Sneff's Canes Southwest Outdoor Hitting Facility in Leander. Another sponsor of the program, and from what I understand, he really opens those doors open to opens those doors open to the club, and wants to make sure that the Raiders get their batting practice in. But he's open to everybody. Canes Southwest, a different brand of baseball. He's located over there at 11880 Hero Way West, Leander, Texas. So stop in there and say hi to Zach.
I'm sure he would appreciate the business. And we thank him for his sponsorship of Rouse Raider Baseball. Krieger gets his warm-ups in.
Number 15, Dalton Paul Porter.
And Dalton Paul Porter will lead things off for the Raiders here in the bottom of the 4th. Due up for the Raiders, Porter, Lewis, and Kingsbury.
Aunt Kendallin, we need you to get out the Dalton Paul Porter doll and do a little voodoo.
Porter 0 for 0. He drew the walk back in the first. He takes for ball 1. Fastball high and outside from Krieger. More activity going in the Georgetown bullpen. Porter fouls this one. Back out of play for strike one. That'll even the count up 1-1. Dylan Lewis on deck for the Raiders. The 1-1 from Krieger. Swing and a miss. That took Porter to his knees for strike two. Porter with a lefty Adrian Beltre imitation.
Mm-hmm.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Porter as he takes inside for ball 2. Low and inside. Even count, 2-2, as Georgetown makes a shift back to the left.
Yeah, they're playing the shift.
Porter fouls this one. Stays alive, and count will remain 2-2. Krieger comes set. The pitch. It's high and outside for ball 3. And the count works full to Dalton Porter. The payoff pitch. Little high, and that will draw the walk, and Porter reaches base on back-to-back walks. That will bring up Dylan Lewis. Dylan Lewis hit into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 1.
Pick one out, kid.
It's the fielder's choice to end the inning back in the first. Wild pitch off the hand of Krieger, and Porter rounds second. He'll stop, and Vasquez gets over quickly. As the ball caromed off the fence down the right field side. 1 ball, no strikes to Lewis. Raiders with a runner in scoring position. 1-0. That's high for ball 2. And they're going to call time to go talk to their hurler.
During this timeout, it gives us a chance to look at some scores from around the league. Your Fighting Texas Aggies are in a tie ball game with Ole Miss. 2-2, bottom of the 6th.
That young man has been with Georgetown for a long, long
He sure
time.
has.
He's a good kid. And he's always with them. Two balls, no strikes to Dylan Lewis. Krieger from the third base side of the rubber. Cedar Creek leads Elgin. In District 18 5A action. 2 balls, 1 strike to Lewis. Krieger pitching from the third base side of the rubber. As their Georgetown swaps to play the bunt. Posey made the shift to cover third. David and Siosin play the bunt up the lines. 2-1 the count to Dylan Lewis. Pitch from Krieger. This is fouled back. Out of play, and the count evens up at 2.
Score from the University of Texas game against the West Virginians. UT's leading 1-0.
Well, they need
top of the 8th.
They need this. They've had some struggles the past couple of weeks. The 2-2, that's inside for ball 3, and the count goes full.
I tell you, that Texas State Ball Club, they are tough.
They're a real deal. Ty Herndon really
Ty
has
Herndon,
he's really
Coach
got a
Herndon
remarkable story in himself.
Exactly.
In his battle with cancer.
Really good person, really good coach.
The payoff pitch is cut on and hit down the third base side. David has it. The throw to first will be in time as he looks Porter back to second. A headsy play by David, and he'll get the out. 5-3 on the putout of Lewis in the fielder's choice. We one away, and that will bring up Fisher Kingsbury. Kingsbury drew the walk.
Folks,
back in the second.
Looks like Vista Ridge is tied 2-2 with Hendrickson, top of the 8th.
Kingsbury takes for ball one. Krieger working to find his rhythm. The 1-0 pitch, that's high for ball two. He has struggled to find the strike zone. Tall right-hander. The 2-0 delivery, that's high for ball three. Kingsbury with 3 balls, no strikes. Tanner Robbins on deck. 1 on with 1 out. Dalton Porter standing at second base. Wesley Krieger on the mound for the Eagles. The 3-0 delivery, that's high for ball four. 4-pitch walk for Fisher Kingsbury. Coach Foster's seen enough. Going to make a pitching change, I believe. So he looks to the dugout and let you know who's coming out here in just a moment, as soon as I see a number. Number 20, Braxton Pearson, will come on in relief of Wesley Krieger. Krieger goes 1/3 of an inning. Gives up 2 walks.
Friends, this pitching change is brought to you by our friends at Lacombe Chiropractic. Go by there and see Dr. Joel Lacombe, chiropractor of the Raiders.
One thing with Georgetown, they are very deep in pitching. Pearson, a right-handed hurler for the Eagles. Now the playoffs start next week. We will no longer stream video. We will not be allowed by the UIL to stream video. It will be audio only. But we will be able to keep the scoreboard up.
Right.
So you will still see the scoreboard, but there will be no video along with it.
And I'm a purist, Michael. Sometimes that's the old way. I love listening to baseball on old AM radio.
That's me. I grew up listening to Mark Holtz and Eric Nadell.
I've actually got a Philco tube radio I keep in the garage.
Do you really?
It takes about 5 minutes for it to warm up, and then it's got the glow of the
Right.
the
in
vacuum
hum.
tubes, but you
Got
know
that hum.
that thing can pick up AM stations all over the country better than any brand
Modern.
new digital radio.
Right. Ethan Moore comes to courtesy run for the catcher, and Tanner Robbins will come to the plate. Robbins, the designated hitter for the Raiders. Pitch inside off the hand of Braxton Pearson for ball one. The 1-0 delivery, that's high for ball two. The Eagles have another pitcher getting loose. The 2-0, that's high for ball three. And Robbins way ahead. 3 balls, no strikes to Braxton Pearson. Pearson has a sign. He delivers. That's right down the pipe for strike one. Runners at first and second for the Raiders. If you're just tuning in, we're in the bottom of the fourth. The Eagles lead this one 6-1 over your Rouse Raiders. Robbins takes for ball four on a pitch that could have been called either way. And the bases are loaded for the Raiders tonight. And for the first time in the series, that's the third walk of the inning given up by Georgetown. Matt Garcia digs in from the right side, and he takes for strike one. Fastball from Pearson. 0-1 the count to Garcia. The 0-1 pitch, that's hit up the middle. This could be trouble. 1 run will score. And Cole Posey unable to make the play. That's going to be an infield hit for Matt Garcia, and the Raiders put a run across. And the bases are loaded for Jake Alepa. 1 run has scored.
See if Mr. Alepa can get us going.
Swing and a foul back to the backstop for strike one to Jake. He's 0 for 2. He is grounded back to the pitcher and hit into a fielder's choice. So he takes for strike two. Bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Your Rouse Raiders trailing by 4, 6-2. This is lined back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. That will score 2. The throw home will not be in time as Tanner Robbins will score. And the Raiders have cut the lead 6-4.
That'll bring up number 23 for the Raiders, Jared Southern.
Runners at first and second. And the Raiders have pulled to within 2 as Jared Southard comes to the plate. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was down and away. Nothing in 1, the count to Jared Southard. Pearson delivers another outside pitch that Southard chases for strike 2.
Jared's just over trying a little bit here at the plate.
Really trying to crush the ball, and he swung at 2 bad pitches. The 0-2, low, a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that will do it for Jared Southard. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 away. And that will bring up Connor Bennett. The go-ahead run is at the plate. Braxton will spin around and look Garcia back to second base. Alepa at first, Garcia at second, with the shortstop, Connor Bennett, at the plate. From the stretch, the pitch, this is popped up and hit out toward right. Thompson over, makes the catch, and that will do it for the Raiders in the fourth. The Raiders get 3 runs on 1 hit. 2 left on after 4. It's 6-4 Georgetown. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. So that is not a typical Georgetown inning from what I understand. So they gave up 3 walks in the inning.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, if things were a little quiet, they sure got loud during that last half inning. Both sides of the stands woke up, and exciting baseball.
Well, you'd much rather see an exciting game than a lopsided game.
Right.
It's close. It's a thrilling game. That's what you want to see, especially between these two clubs. They're both district champions.
Hey, don't let the standings fool you, folks. Georgetown has certainly earned their number 1 spot, and Rouse is number 1 in their district.
Eastview leading the Hutto Hippos 8-3 in the top of the 7th. Wow.
Okay.
And they just put another runner on.
So here we go, top of the 5th.
Leading off the top of the 5th for the Eagles will be Ty Tilson. Tilson is 1 for 2. And a great play by Connor Bennett if he can get the throw there. It's not going to be in time. It bounces and out of the glove. But that was deep in the hole. That's going to be a base hit for Ty Tilson.
Well, Connor Bennett saved that from being a stand-up double. Just
did.
an outstanding shortstop play.
It took him to the edge of the infield grass, or the outfield grass, rather. Georgetown with 1 aboard for Jackson Seosin.
Raiders have a chance now to turn a double.
Fastball, the throw down to second will not be in time as Tilson got the jump on Southern. He'll pick up the stolen base. Swing from Seosin for strike 1. Kingsbury calls time. He's going to go out and talk to Southern. Seosin in an 0-1 count. This is the kind of baseball you want to see between these two clubs.
That's right. Well, it's also a good tune-up. Both clubs are going to be going into the playoffs next week, and the coaches want their teams finely tuned. You don't want to play a game where you just get lethargic.
From the stretch, the 0-1 pitch as Southern spins around and looks Tilson back to second. The 0-1, Seosin leads a bunt down the first base side, a lob over to first, pulls Lewis off the bag from Kingsbury. I'm not understanding the call here.
Then that's the right call. We're being told that the base runner interfered with the throw.
So Siosen is being ruled out
Number 17.
for interference. For out number 1. That's going to be runner interference.
Well, one thing we have certainly seen a lot of this year is the umpires are calling interference calls on runners and the catchers.
Suddard from the stretch as he faces Noah Thompson. He'll spin off and make a throw back to second, trying to pick Tilson off.
Georgetown fans are cheering their batter on.
Swing and a miss from Thompson on the fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. And the thing with that Suddard brings is Georgetown hasn't seen this kind of pitcher throughout their district season.
I don't believe so. That's a UT commit and also being looked at very closely by a lot of MLB clubs.
2 strikes to Thompson and both fastballs on the outside corner. Swings and misses from Thompson. The 0-2 from Suddard. This was a curveball that's popped up and looks like it just goes out of play and it hit somebody. I'm not sure. I don't think it got him in the face. She's okay. Yeah,
Okay.
She's okay. I think it just knocked her hat just a bit. So she got a smile on her face. She's all right.
All right.
Nothing in 2. The count to Thompson.
Take the baseball and go get your free snow cone.
Suddard spins off and looks Tilson back to second. One away here in the top of the 6th, or top of the 5th. Pitch misses for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Thompson. Suddard comes set. The delivery. This is popped back out of play. And Thompson stays alive. One and 2. The count to Noah Thompson. The fireballer. The fastball, swing and a miss for strike 3. And Thompson is retired for out number 2. That is the 3rd punch out for Jared Suddard. A 3rd in 2 innings so far. He's gone an inning and 2/3. Wesley Dixon will come to the plate. Dixon 1 for 2. He takes for ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Dixon. Tilson at second, 2 away. Eagles lead it 6-4. In on the hands and fouled away down the first base side. That will even the count up at 1. Kingsbury gives the sign. Suddard from the stretch. He looks Tilson back to second. Spins off and will reset. The pitch, breaking ball outside for ball 2. The 2-1 delivery. Fastball just a bit inside. ball 3. It was a nice-looking pitch. I have to agree with the fan in the stands with that one, but not to the umpire's liking. The 3-1.
Umpires likes that outside corner, like you said. And it's, for whatever reason, some of these are straight down the middle. He is not calling them.
Tilson takes off, throw down to third. As Tilson will pick up the steal. The throw not quite there. It was a close play. And it was a called strike, so count goes full. Runner at third with 2 outs. The payoff pitch, this is fouled back out of play. And Dixon stays alive. Three balls, 2 strikes to Wesley Dixon. From the windup, the 3-2. It's in for called strike, and Jared Sutter picks up his 4th punch out and sits Dixon down. So he's caught looking. And that will do it for the Eagles. They get no runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. After 4.5, it's Georgetown 6, Rouse Raiders 4. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball. I'm Michael Francis alongside my good friend and the great one, Scott Mount.
Thank you, Michael. Folks, stay with us. Bottom of the 5th. I know it's a long game, but it's only getting better.
Scott Mount, a former Booster Club president for the Raiders.
And we all do our time and then move on, but we've had a good 4 years here. It's hard to believe it's already come so quick.
It has. I did 2 years as Booster Club vice president myself.
Right. And appreciate you coming back and helping out with the broadcast. And then we've got a Dalton Paul Porter's dad is in the stands with the press box with us. He's been here all season.
Doing a fine job on
doing the
PA.
announcing.
Yeah.
You know, folks, it's volunteerism is not always easy. It's a lot of commitment, and that's what makes our strength of our program, though.
Due up for the Raiders in the 5th, Bennett, Little, and Porter. Raiders took advantage of some Georgetown miscues, pitching miscues, and some free passes.
Speaking of that, I believe tomorrow is the Blockhouse Creek trail cleanup. Another fundraiser for the ball club. Blockhouse Creek Mud invited us back to clean some of the trails. I think this will be our 3rd year to do that.
Braxton Pearson on to pitch the 5th for Georgetown is Lance Little.
Lance's dad's in the press box with us as well, the scoreboard keeper all season long.
I must have made a mistake. I guess I put down Bennett's, what he did in that last inning. Pitch in for a strike to Lance Little.
I cannot get over that hair. Madonna would be proud.
So the umpire would flash the signs right quick. Dalton Porter on deck. Pitch from Pearson outside for a ball. I have 1-1 as my count, but I'm not sure that that's correct. The pitch, this is cut on, hit down third base side. Jeffrey David has it. The throw over to Jackson Seosin in time, and that will do it for Lance Little. 5-3 on the putout of Lance Little, and that will bring up the center fielder, Dalton Porter. As his dad refers to him, Dalton Paul Porter. As he fouls this one down the first base side. He jumps on the first offering from Braxton Pearson. Nothing in one, the count to Dalton Porter. Porter, a future Longhorn himself. He has been recruited by UT
I've got
as
a year.
freshman.
I've got a year to work on him.
Porter tried to drag bunt and gets rung up on the strike.
Well, the stands are still full, Michael, and that's a good sign.
Well, Rouse has pulled this game closer, so it's a lot more interesting. The 0-2, that's down and away for ball one. One and two, the count to Porter. From the stretch, this is lined back up the middle. This will be a base hit for Porter.
Dalton hit it right where it needed to go. That's just a solid base hit.
That brings up number 1 for the Raiders, Dylan Lewis.
And he hits it so hard, it's lined back up the middle. This didn't give Whittington or Posey an opportunity to be able to make a play on it.
Tying run at the plate.
Second baseman, Dylan Lewis, comes to the plate. 1 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Georgetown leading your Rouse Raiders 6-4. Both teams have put six hits on the board.
We have a very vocal Georgetown mom in the stands.
That's what it's all about, right?
That's right.
That's what it's all
Proud
about.
mommies.
As long as it's not ugly and
No, it's respectful.
throw over to first as Porter
Don't make
dives back in safely.
don't make the mommies mad.
Right. Pearson from the stretch. As he picks up the sign from Vasquez. A throw over to first. Just enough to keep Porter honest over there. Pitch down and away for ball one. Braxton Pearson on the hill for the Raiders. A.J. Vasquez behind the plate. Jackson Siosin at first. Pitch misses outside for ball two. Zach Whittington at second. Cole Posey at short. Jeffrey David at third base. In left field, it's Ty Tilson. Center field, Childress. Pitch in for a strike. Count moves to 2-1. And in right field, Noah Thompson. Braxton Pearson comes set. He delivers a breaking ball in for a strike.
Good pitch.
Didn't have a whole lot of break on it, but enough. As Lewis took all the way. Count is even at 2. The pitch. This is fouled back out of play, and Lewis stays alive. Lewis digs back in. Pearson comes set. The throw over. First, not in time, as Siosin tried to sell it, but
he tried.
It wasn't even close.
Well, folks, we have an update from Aunt Kendall, and the voodoo on the baseball is working.
Way to go, Aunt Kendall.
Keep it coming.
Maybe we need to get Dalton to write her a check. Maybe Don can write her a check.
I think Don can write her a check.
And Don's offering the Booster Club to write Aunt Kendall a check.
Hopefully Grant and Kaylin are helping Mom out.
Pearson picks up the sign from Vasquez. He comes set, the delivery, a swing and a miss. And that will do it for Dylan Lewis. As Pearson picks up the punch out. 2 away. And that will bring up Fisher Kingsbury. Kingsbury has back-to-back walks. Throw over to first, and Porter wasn't even off the bag.
That was a good one.
It wasn't. He was standing on the bag, and Pearson throws over.
He's probably thinking, well, was that supposed to lead off?
Swing and a miss from Kingsbury for strike one. Nice pitch from Pearson. That was going to be a strike either way you look at it.
No matter what, at least he swung. Don't let the umpire make the call for you.
No balls, 1 strike. This is hit back up the middle. Porter is going to round third, and he's headed for home. Throw home will not be in time. He's safe because he lost the ball. Raiders score. That will be an RBI single for Fisher Kingsbury.
Thank you, Aunt Kendallin.
That brings up number 4 for the Raiders, Tanner Robbins.
Raiders have cut the lead 6-5.
Really good hit on that, and then Dalton took it all the way from first base to home. Really good base running.
I want to say, apologize. It's a hit by Tanner Robbins. A throw over from David will end the inning. But the Raiders score 1 run on 1 hit, 1 left to board after 6 complete here in Leander, or 5 complete in Leander. It's 6-5 Georgetown over your Rouse Raiders. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Stay with us, folks.
Stay with us, folks. Pitching change for the Raiders. Number 22, Connor Bennett, will come to pitch on in relief of Jared Southern. And so we have, I believe that is Brian, the shortstop. What's his?
Is that Galloway out there?
Number 8, Ryan Galloway.
Ryan Galloway being called back up tonight.
Number 9, Ryan Galloway, moves over to short. Jared Southern back to right field.
Ryan was called up a few games ago and really had a great game at the varsity level.
Back to center field. And the left goes back to the left.
So essentially, I think that's the only defensive change that I see for the Raiders. It's Bennett. Bennett on the mound. Kingsbury behind the plate. Little at first. Lewis at second. Galloway at short. Garcia at third. Alepa at left. Porter in center. And Southern in right.
Doesn't get any better than this, does it, Michael?
Does not. Zach Whittington will lead off the 6th. As Bennett gets the strike. 0-1 the count to Whittington. Pitch from Bennett. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 2, and Whittington behind in the count, 0-2. The wind and the delivery. This is a curveball that's hit back up the middle. Galloway has it. The throw over to first in time, and that will retire Whittington for out number 1. 6-3 on the putout.
Gets that first out jitters out of the way. Welcome back to the varsity, Mr. Galloway.
Jack Hellman.
Number 21, Jack Hellman, who came or substituted for A.J. Vasquez last inning. One away with nobody on. Curveball in for a strike. Hellman batting 9th in the order. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses low for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Jack Hellman. The 2-1. Curveball in for strike 2, and the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Here in the top of the 6th, Georgetown leads this one 6-5 over the Raiders. The 2-2 pitch. This is cut on and hit down the third base side. Garcia has it. The throw to first, the bounce in time, and that will retire Hellman for out number 2. 5-3 on the putout, and that will bring up number 7, Jeffrey David.
That brings up number 7.
Back to the top of the order.
Jeffrey Davis.
Here you go, Connor. One more, kid.
Curveball, a little off-speed action from Connor Bennett. In for a strike as David took all the way. Pitch down and away, misses for ball 1. That'll even the count up at 1. Pitch, fastball, just misses outside.
He's been calling that strike all night.
For ball 2, he has been. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jeffrey David. The 2-1 delivery. This is fouled back to the fence for strike 2. David 0 for 2. He drew a walk back in the first. He grounded to short and to first, respectively. Deuce is wild to David. The 2-2 pitch. That's cut on and bad hop off the glove of Galloway, and David will reach on the bad hop. I'm going to have to confer to see if that was an error or a hit.
I'm thinking that's probably more of a hit.
It was hit pretty sharply, so I'm going to say he got the single, and he was deep in the hole. As Galloway was playing the edge of the outfield grass. Throw over from Bennett, not in time, as David dives back in safely.
The Georgetown players have not seen Connor Bennett in his lightning fast pickoff.
Wesley Childress stands in. Well, Wyatt Childress, stands in as he takes, but I didn't see the call. And the umpire doesn't flash his signs very often. Throw over to first, not in time, as David dives safely. The pitch, Childress curveball in for a called strike. 1-1 the count to Wyatt Childress. Umpire finally showed us the sign. Thank you, sir. 1 on with 2 outs. Here in the top of the 6th, a throw over. Wow, that was a bang-bang play. Bennett thought it for sure he had him. He was headed to the dugout.
Well, the umpire is really not in a good position on that one. That's when you need to ask for help.
Throw over again.
And take a timeout. Ask the.
That's a bang-bang play. He's got a great pickoff move. I have to admit, that's 2 plays right there you really have to question. The 1-1, it gets the outside corner for strike 2. 1-2 the count to Wyatt Childress. One on with 2 outs. The pitch, a curveball. This is hit back over to Galloway. He'll make the throw to first. And that will do it for Georgetown in the 6th. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. After 5.5, it's Georgetown 6, Rouse Raiders 5. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Number 3, Brooks Hancocks will come on in relief of Braxton Pearson as we get things started here in the bottom. Due up for the Raiders. In the 6th will be Robbins, Garcia, and Alepa. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for
Here
the
we
Raiders.
go.
What an exciting game in stark contrast to last night's game. Coach Krempine opting to play several players last night that had not had the opportunity to play.
Right.
I was talking with some people before the game, and they made some good points. You know, we had some rainouts where Coach Krempine was going to play these guys. You know, we had a game scheduled with Elgin and a game scheduled with Taylor that didn't work out due to weather, and those were the times he was going to let those guys get an opportunity to play.
Yeah, Coach had actually talked to me about those games as well, and it's a double-edged sword for Coach and Coach Harris. We do have a deep bench, and you try to get all of your players as much playing time, and unfortunately the weather doesn't always cooperate, and you know the voters won't vote in the bond for us to have the Dome Stadium here at Rouse, and maybe next year.
Number 3, Matt Garcia stands in as he faces Brooks Hancocks. This pitch
I think it's
goes
also
wild to the backstop for ball 1.
important to recognize that Coach Krempine in 3 years has done outstanding things with this program, and this is the last season he has of players that were not originally his.
A liner right back down the first baseline to Jackson Siosen. He will take it, step on the bag, and that will do it for Garcia. That will go 3-U on the putout. Back to the top we go. It's Jake Alepa comes to the plate. He takes for ball 1, a breaking ball, misses inside. One ball, no strikes to Jake Alepa. Pitch from Hancocks. That's right down the middle for strike 1. No wind blowing here tonight. The flags are
Completely still.
1-1 pitch. It's outside and in the dirt for ball 2. Jared Southern on deck for the Raiders.
I think Jared wants another opportunity to get something going.
Alepa is 1 for 4 as he takes for strike 2. I'm sorry, 1 for 3. He
Georgetown
singled back in the
fans
fourth.
are working it tonight.
The 2-2, it misses outside for ball 3, and Alepa works the count full. That was a pitch that if Hellman would have played it a little better, would possibly been a strike 3 call.
I think so.
So it looked like a good pitch from Hancock's. Payoff pitch, that's in the dirt, ball 4, and Alepa reaches with the free pass.
23 for the Raiders, Jared Southard.
Jack Hellman wants to go out and talk to his hurler, Brooks Hancock's. Jeffrey David goes to give a word of advice as well. Not exactly sure if he goes by Jeff or Jeffrey. It's Jeffrey on the lineup card. 1 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Georgetown leading 6-5. Throw over to first. Not in time as Alepa stands back in on the bag safely. Hancock's come set from the stretch. Breaking ball. In for a strike as Southern laid off. Checked his swing, and
he bet he wishes he had that one back.
The 0-1, Southern's going to call time and step out. I think he wants to talk to Coach Crimping. Coach Crimping has taken the Raiders to the playoffs every year that he's been here. This is his 3rd season. Raiders had never even sniffed the playoffs before. Well, I say that. We did one time. Alepa takes off. This is a hit and run, and this is going to be a bang-bang play. And Cole Posey opts to run him down rather than throw him out at first. And double play. That'll end it for the Raiders. Southern lines out to short. And Alepa is tagged out. So it's an unassisted double play by Cole Posey.
Unfortunately, just a really weird hit.
It just kind of sailed flat and didn't have a whole lot on it. But Raiders get no runs on no hits, nobody left on, and in a weird way, went in order.
So
after 6 complete, it's 6-5 Georgetown. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Due up for the Eagles in the 7th. Posey, Tilson, and Siosin. Connor Bennett back on the hill for the Raiders to pitch the 7th. Ryan Galloway at short. Both teams down to their final 3 outs.
Wow. All right. The score from Ole Miss, your Fighting Texas Aggies are getting shellacked. 13-2.
Ouch.
Bottom of the 8th.
That's tough. I can't say much. Texas has took some on the chin. They definitely took it against Oklahoma State. And I'm not saying a word.
That is a good old country. I'm too polite to say what it is.
Swing and a miss from Posey for strike 1. This is lined back up to the pitcher, and that will do it for Posey. That will go 1-3 on the putout.
Brings up number 10, Ty Tilson.
One away for the left fielder, number 10, Ty Tilson. Tilson is 2 for 3 on the night. He has 2 singles and grounded out to second, back in the second inning. Curveball from Connor Bennett misses inside for ball 1. Now we're trying to keep tabs with the scores going on in the area tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to tell you who Rouse will be facing in the playoffs. A little bloop single is a pop-up. Looked like he was going to go to short, but it falls in the infield grass, and Lewis had to really move to play it, and Tilson gets the infield hit. I tell you what, that guy has had the hot bat tonight for the Eagles.
Sure has.
He goes 3 for 4 so far on the night, and that will bring up Jackson Siosen. Siosen is 1 for 3. He singled back in the first. He takes for ball 1.
Looks like both Texas clubs are struggling. Looks like West Virginia beat UT tonight 3-2.
He was hit by pitch in the second, and then he was ruled out for runner interference back in the third, or back in the fifth rather. The trick play just got Ty Tilson as Bennett feigned to throw to first, and he kept the ball. Raiders feigned that they were chasing after the ball, and Bennett tags Tilson as he took off for second. Caught stealing. That will be 1U on the out for out number 2, and Georgetown to their final out as Jackson Siosen takes for a called strike 1. 1-1 the count to Siosen.
Rouse fans throwing a little bit of
shade.
A little bit of the shellacking back to the Georgetown fans when
swing and a miss for strike 2, and Eagles down to their final strike.
You can pick it up in our crowd mic, folks. Usually when a Rouse batter would come up, a Georgetown fan would scream out, "He's a looker," and this time it caught up with him.
0-2, the count to Siosen, and he pops this one up out to left center. Porter over, makes the catch, and that will do it for the Eagles. They go down in order for the first time tonight. 1, 2, 3. Go the Eagles. No runs, no hit, or no runs on 1 hit, and nobody left on.
Well, here we go.
And in a weird way, they went down in order as well. So after 6.5,
got a sidearm.
Georgetown 6, Rouse 5.
Hang on, folks. It's not over yet.
So got a submariner. Reese Grimes comes on in relief of Brooks Hancock's.
What is it we always say? Baseball's a game of inches.
It is. And he's pretty spot on with his warm-up pitches.
A game that is played at a leisurely pace but demands blinding speed.
Well, this is exactly what Georgetown was looking for, a game that's been close.
Right.
And the Raiders are glad to oblige, and hopefully the Raiders can eke out a walk-off victory here in the 7th, or at least get the tie to extend the game.
Yeah. Here we go.
Connor Bennett leading off for the Raiders in the 7th. Bennett is 0 for 2. As he takes for a strike.
Woo, that was a good pitch.
It's hard to see it out of the hand of a good submariner pitcher.
Sure is.
The 0-1 pitch, the curveball misses inside. It's something how those guys that throw like that can make that ball curve. Grimes pitching from the stretch. The 1-1, and it hits him, and
that's the
Bennett.
The downside of a submariner, because if it doesn't break, then you
tying run is aboard. And Connor Bennett sold that one. I have to say, he sold that one.
When remember Little League, that's the first thing or one of the things you teach them. You always ask, did the ball hit you? And most kids are going to say no, and you teach them, yes, it always hits you. Then you sell it.
So we'll see. The umpires are going to talk about it. And he's
flop around a little bit.
Okay, so that's going to stand. Tying run is aboard. Lance Little comes to the plate.
There will be no courtesy runner since this is the bottom of the 7th.
Bennett, a good base runner himself. It's Little is 1 for 3. It's going to be a wild pitch that will move Bennett to second base. Little took for ball 1. The 1-0, that's inside for ball 2. And what's tough for a pitcher like this is you got an umpire who likes the high and outside pitch.
Well, that's a good point. He likes some high and outside. This ump does so. And
there she worked
right
to
there,
the outside,
he worked outside,
and he got the call. So fastball.
So interesting substitution by Coach Foster.
The 2-1, a swing and a miss from Little for strike 2.
With the umpire here is calling all night.
The tying run just 180 feet away.
Is that Aggie math?
That is 90 and 90. So a single up the middle, misplayed by Cole Posey. And you have 2 aboard. I think they're going to rule that a single for Lance Little. On the infield hit, it was hit deep on the infield, and
right.
Posey playing it. So Coach Crimpine looks like he's about to make a substitution. Brings a pitch runner in. Oh, wait.
That's number 17, Zach Miller.
Zach Miller
Miller
will pinch run for Lance Little. Put a little extra speed on the base paths. Little, or Miller, represents the go-ahead run, as Dalton Paul Porter comes to the plate.
Come on, Aunt Kendall, we need you.
The pitch from Grimes outside for ball 1.
A lefty with the submariner, that's a unique matchup.
1 ball, no strikes. Down the middle, a fastball cut on and missed for strike 1. Count even at 1 for Dalton Porter. Raiders with 2 aboard and no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Georgetown leading 6-5. Grimes checks Bennett at second. Porter fouls this one off down the first base side. For strike 2, he falls behind 1-2 in the count to Reese Grimes. Hellman gives the sign. The pitch, curveball in for strike 3. That was a nice pitch.
That was a really good pitch.
Porter caught looking for out number 1, and that will bring up Dylan Lewis.
That brings up number 1 for the Raiders, Dylan Lewis.
All right, Big D.
Here we go, D.
Lewis is 0 for 3 on the night. He's hit into a fielder's choice. He's grounded to third and struck out. He takes for ball 1. Pitch down and away from Reese Grimes. The 1-0. This is hit back up the middle. This could be trouble. There's 1. There's 2. And that will do it.
Well,
The Eagles turn a double play to end the game and seal the victory as they defeat the Rouse Raiders 6-5 here in Leander tonight. That will move Georgetown to 30-2 on the season. Raiders will fall to 19-10 on the season, but that will do it for the regular season. Next week we'll begin the playoffs. I don't know if we have any updates. Maybe David Little can give us an update on some of the local scores to see who our opponent will be next week. Hopefully we can give you some information about that.
that was an exciting game, though.
What an exciting game. A much better finish than
And
than
look
last
at the
night.
players on the field. Good competitors. You don't see any heads hanging low. These two teams played each other very well tonight.
Fans kept it civil.
Yep.
Top of the ninth, Eastview leading 10-9. Wow.
That's
Hutto really came back.
That sure did. That's a good ball game, too.
As Eastview was up 8-2 in the top of the 7th. So we still do not know who we will be playing
we
against,
don't,
so we
no.
won't be able to get you that information. So what an outstanding performance by both ball clubs tonight. Kingsbury had a rocky start back in the first where 4 runs scored for Georgetown, and then they were able to put 2 more insurance runs across, and that was enough to get the win on the night. But
Yeah, the Georgetown Eagles played a fine ball game today. They took advantage of the mistakes, and that's what you have to do.
And the Raiders, they took advantage of some Georgetown mistakes. Jared Southard and Connor Bennett. Mason Bowers.
Came in. Ryan Galloway called back up.
Right, and did a great job for the Raiders and to bring the Raiders to within 1 of tying this ball game. And you had the winning run on board in the 7th with nobody out. And unfortunately, it hit into an inning double or game-ending double play from Dylan Lewis, and that sealed it. And so tip of the hat to the Georgetown Eagles for their victory tonight. They take this one 6-5. And next week we will be broadcasting playoff baseball. Again, we want to remind you that there will be no streaming video. It will be audio only during the playoffs, as the UIL owns the video rights,
Owns the video rights,
of all of Texas high school playoff baseball. What a fun game it's been. Scott, it's been a great season working with you. I'm looking forward to the playoff season. Hopefully it can extend out and the Raiders can have some fun and bring some hardware home.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate the opportunity and the guidance and the learning. And I want to say thanks again to SHN for the opportunity. And just like that, we're here at the end of the regular season. And now we go on to the playoffs and try to extend this as far as we can.
As far as we can, and that's for sure. Give these departing seniors a good ride for as far as we can go. And hopefully both these clubs will survive and we'll see each other again in the third round of the playoffs. Because I looked at the brackets, and that's where we would meet up if we're successful through the by-district and area rounds. And we will meet up with the Georgetown Eagles if they have the same fortune. But congratulations to the Eagles, and congratulations to the Rouse Raiders on a great season, regular season, going undefeated in district.
Undefeated in district, yeah.
Winning their second district championship in 3 years.
Outright.
So congratulations to Chad Crimpine and the Rouse Raiders, and to all the parents and the Booster Club that has supported Rouse Raider baseball, our sponsors that have helped to make all this happen. We thank you very much.
Well, that's true, and thanks again, our sponsors. We can't do it without you. It really makes the program what it is, and we hear from Coach Crimpine every year that the funding is not what it is for some of the other sports, so we really rely on our sponsors and our Booster Club. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And a reminder, Blockhouse Creek cleanup tomorrow. I believe it starts at hold on, let me see.
I know the email went out, but that's a great opportunity from the Blockhouse Creek Mud to get our players out there, and they clean up the trails. And
that will start tomorrow at 9 a.m. at 1301 Blockhouse Creek Drive. So they'll need weed eaters, chainsaws, tree pruners, and trash bags. So help the program out if you can, and the baseball players, your parents, all show up. And
yeah, we welcome alumni too.
And alumni too, to help with this fundraiser. It usually brings in a few $1,000s for just a couple of hours. It's really all it amounts to, and that really will be a good shot in the arm for
Folks,
the Rouse Raider program.
If you're still looking, you can see this is what the game's all about. Both head coaches meeting on the field, and a lot of respect between both these programs.
So that will do it for us tonight. Again, the Raiders drop a heartbreaker to the Georgetown Eagles, but it was fun bringing it to you. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Rouse Raider baseball. We will see you next week from Leander on the campus of Rouse High School. You've been listening to Michael Francis and Scott Mount bringing you Rouse Raider baseball on SHN Sports. Good night, everyone, and God bless. We will see you next week.